You can start now.
Namaste, good evening to all our dear students, teachers, and school administrative department. We welcome you to our Vidya Shakti science session. My name is Ashwita Malnad. I'll be your science tutor, and this is our second session for class 8, isn't it? So, it's a heartily welcome to all of the dear students. How was your weekend? ಹೇಗಿತ್ತು ನಿಮ್ಮ ವಾರಾಂತ್ಯ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ ನೀವು ಬಹಳ ಸರ್ಪ್ರೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಬಹಳ ಖುಷಿಯಾಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಭಾವಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಅದ್ರೊಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮತ್ತಷ್ಟು ಎಂಥೂಸಿಯಾಸಮ್ ಹಾಗೂ ಖುಷಿಯೊಂದಿಗೆ ಆರಂಭಿಸ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋಣ. ಓಕೆ? ವೆಲ್. ಸೊ if you can remember in our old class we talked about the crop production and the management. ಒಂದು ಬೆಳೆಯ ಉತ್ಪಾದನೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಹೇಗಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತು ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ನಾವು ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ವಿ. ನೋಡಿ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶ ಯಾವುದು ಉಗಾಂಡನ Americana illa Bharata, the great India. So in our country, the population is really high and we are supposed to cater the need of everyone, isn't it? So ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಸಕಾಲಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ತುಂಬಷ್ಟು ಆಹಾರನ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೆಳೆಯನ್ನ ಸರಿಯಾದ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಉತ್ಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. We have to produce the crop, ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, manage them and distribution. ಅದನ್ನ ಸರಿಯಾದ ರೀತಿಲಿ ವಿತರಣೆ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ತುಂಬಾ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ಆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ವಿ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ agriculture, the history of our agriculture, isn't it? Let me make a note of it so that it is a quick recap to you. Okay. Okay. So in our last class we talked about agriculture. ಒಂದೇ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತಹ ಬೆಳೆಯನ್ನ ಆನ್ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ತುಂಬಾ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗಿ ಬೆಳೆಯೋಕೆ ನಾವು ಬೆಳೆ ಅಥವಾ ಕ್ರಾಪ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅಂಡ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್. Second thing is that the history of agriculture, when did it start? Somewhere around 10,000 BC before Christ. This was started where people started moving from one place to another. We call those people as ಅಲೆಮಾರಿಗಳು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರೀಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಲೆಮಾರಿಗಳು ಅಂದ್ರೆ nomadic, means people who move from one place to another in search of food, shelter. Okay. ಅದಾದ ನಂತರ when with the rise of civilization ನಾಗರಿಕತೆ ಉಗಮ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬಂದಂಗುನು they started settling at one particular place and on a large land they started growing the crops and we call it as agriculture. We understood about the history of agriculture and we know about the crops that is grown on different season. Okay, basically the crops that is grown in the rainy season we call it as kharif crop and the crops that is grown in the winter season that call it as rabi alva kharif ಮತ್ತೆ rabi ಬೆಳೆಗಳು. And apart from that we also know that in other seasons like summer we grow pulses, ಬೇಳೆಗಳು, ಕಾಳುಗಳು, ದ್ವಿದಳ ಧಾನ್ಯಗಳು, ವೆಜಿಟೇಬಲ್ಸ್, ತರಕಾರಿಗಳು ಇವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. And then importantly we understood about the agricultural practices. So ಈಗ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದಾಯ್ತಲ್ಲ, can you just give me the inputs? What are the different agricultural practices that we have? Can we have some noise from you? Noise andre galate alla. We require some answers from you. You can put it in the chat box or in the comment section. So please tell me, what are the different agricultural practices that we learned in our last class? Yes, cultivation of crops involves several activities, isn't it? ಒಂದು ಬೆಳೆಯನ್ನ ಬೆಳಿಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಅದನ್ನ ಒಂದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಇವಾಗ ಒಂದು ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೇಲಿ ಗಾರ್ಡನ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ, ಚಿಕ್ಕದಾದಂತ ಹೂತೋಟ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ನಾವ್ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಬೆಳಿತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ? ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ನೆನಪಿಸ್ಕೊಂತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬಹುದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ವೇರಿಯಸ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸಸ್ ಆರ್ ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ದು ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ನೋಡಿ. ಮೊದಲನೇದು ಮಣ್ಣನ್ನ ಸಿದ್ಧಪಡಿಸ್ಕೊಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ ನಾವು, ಅದನ್ನ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಾಯಿಲ್. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಒನ್ ಸೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಿತ್ತನೆ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಲೆಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಬಿ ಇವನ್ ಮೋರ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್. ಹೋಪ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ನೌ. ಸೋಯಿಂಗ್. ಮೂರನೇದು ಆಡಿಂಗ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ಯೂರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸರ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಗದ ಅಭಾವ ಇದೆ ನನ್ಗೆ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಸೊ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಪುಟಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್, ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ದ ಫುಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? ನಾಲ್ಕನೇದು ಇರಿಗೇಷನ್. ಇರಿಗೇಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವಿಲ್ ಲರ್ನ್ ಇನ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಇನ್ ಆರ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್. ಬಟ್ ಇರಿಗೇಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಂತೀವಿ ನಾವ್ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ? ನೀರಾವರಿ. ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ ನೀರಾವರಿ ಜಮೀನು ಅಂತ, ಅದು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ವೀಡ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ. ಸಿಕ್ಸ್ತ್ ಒನ್ ಹಾರ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್. ಹಾರ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೊಯ್ಲು ಅಂತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಕೊಯ್ಲಿನ ಕಾಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ನೀವ್ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ರೈತಾಪಿ ವರ್ಗದಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ರೆ, ಇಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ಫಾರ್ಮಿಂಗ್, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ರಿಲೇಟ್. ಕೊಯ್ಲಿನ ಸಮಯ ಬಂತು, ಕೊಯ್ಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೆವೆಂತ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ಸ್ಟೋರೇಜ್. ನಾವ್ ಏನು ಗಿಡಗಳನ್ನ ಬೆಳ್ದಿರ್ತೀವಿ, ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಮಲೆನಾಡು ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ, ನಂದು ಮಲೆನಾಡು, ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ನಮ್ ಕಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಡಿಕೆ, ಕಾಳ್ಮೆಣ್ಸು, ವೆನಿಲಾ, ತೆಂಗು ಇವುಗಳು ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಬೆಳಿತಾರೆ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಉತ್ತರ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಕಡೆಗಳಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಏನ್ ಬೆಳಿತಾರೆ? ಹತ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನ ಬೆಳಿತಾರೆ, ಕಡಲೆಕಾಯಿಗಳನ್ನ ಬೆಳಿತಾರೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಒಂದೊಂದು ರೀಜನ್ ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಒಂದು ರೀಜನ್ಗೆ ಅವಶ್ಯಕವಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಪದಾರ್ಥಗಳನ್ನ ಬೆಳಿತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗೆ ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿರ್ತೇವೆ. ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ. ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಲುಕ್ ಅಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಒನ್ಸ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಈಗ, ಫಾರ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್, ಸಿನ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ನ್ಯೂ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್, ಐ ಆಮ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಪೂನ್ ಫೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಯು ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್. ಬಟ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್, ನಾವ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಹೈ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಇನ್ನು ಇದೇ ರೀತಿ ನೀವು 10th ವರ್ಗೂ ಓದ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಕಾಲೇಜ್. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಪೂನ್ ಫೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ನೌ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಈಗನಿಂದಾನೇ ನೀವು ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಬೇಕು. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಅ ಬುಕ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್. ಹೋಪ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ like this, and you can make a partition. Okay, whatever the classes you have, like science irbahudu, maths irbahudu, athwa English irbahudu, you can make a partition of it. As and when a chapter has been done, it's not only related to our Vidya Shakti classes, even in your school as well. As and when the teacher starts giving you the lecturer or ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆನೆ ನೀವು ಈ ಬುಕ್ ಅನ್ನ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು you can prepare a notes by yourself. Okay, so notes are the complete descriptive notes antala. Maybe whatever you understand. For example, as in I told you, like, a summary points kind of thing. See, you can start, crop production and management. We learn about agriculture, its history, and then you learned a new word called as nomadic. You can just make a note of it, and you can write crop related to season. So Kharif crop, I'm just showing you like this, which comes under the rainy season, isn't it? Rainy season anta ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ somewhere from June to September. Then Rabi crop, it comes under winter season, that is somewhere October to March. So like this, you can make a note of it. Last moment examಗೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಓದ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂದಾಗ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಓಕೆ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಅದು ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಲಿ ಏನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಕ್ರಾಪ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಸೀಸನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳಿತೀವಿ, ಖಾರಿಫ್ ಕ್ರಾಪ್ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಗಳೇನು, ರಬಿ ಕ್ರಾಪಿನ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಏನು, ಅದ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ನ ಫೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಹಳ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇವಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಹೈಯರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ಗಂತೂ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ, ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ವಾರ್ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಇರ್ತಿತ್ತಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಐಸ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ಅ ನೋಟ್, ಒಂದು A4 ಸೈಜ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ರೂಲರ್ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಈ ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಯುದ್ಧ ಆಯ್ತು. Okay. For example, Buxar War. When did that happen? Between whom did that happen? So, Athara and our regarding our Indian thing, 1857, we had that British Revolution happening in our country, and we started revolving against it. Okay. So, Atharadagi ನೀವು ಬರ್ಕೊಂತ ಹೋದಾಗ, ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತ ಹೋದಾಗ, last minute study, it is two-way important. One, you'll have a quick revision. Second thing, from the exam point of view also, it would be very helpful. Okay. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಇವಾಗ ನಾನ್ ಬರೀತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಲ್ಲ, ನಾನ್ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಂಗೆ ನೀವು ಕೂಡ ಇದನ್ನ ನಿಮ್ಮ ನೋಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ಫುಲ್ ಟು ಯು. ಅಂಡ್ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ದ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಇಸ್ ಮೂವ್ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್. ಮೇ ಬಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಬಹುದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ನ, ಅಥವಾ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ವ್ಯೂ ಇಟ್, ಆರ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಟಾಪ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ವ್ಯೂ ಇಟ್. ಬಟ್ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದ very important traditional method of studying is very, very important. And what does this traditional method of studying says that to write and study. Write and study, because one writing is equal to 10 times of studying. ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಒಂದು ಸಲ ನಾವು ಬರ್ದು ಕಲ್ತ್ರೆ ಅದು 10 ಸಲ ನಾವು ಓದಿದ ಸಮ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದ ಮೋರ್ ಯು ರೈಟ್, ದ ಮೋರ್ ಯು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್. Okay. So whenever time permits, this is our fresh chapter, and freshly we have started this session so that I'm giving you everything in point. But going forward, please make sure that whatever you're going to study, please make a note of it in your notebook. If possible only, please keep a notebook separately for Vidya Shakti. You can take a notes over here also. Okay. Otherwise, you can just make a note in your rough note, but it should be clean and neat. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ರೀತಿಲಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. Okay. So now in our last session, we understood about various agricultural practices. At least by name we understood. So ಮೊದಲನೇದೇನು, you prepare the soil. Soil ನ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆದ ನಂತರ we do sowing. Sowing ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಿತ್ತನೆ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಆ ನಂತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಡಿಂಗ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ಯೂರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸರ್. ಸೊ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ಯೂರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಕ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ಯೂರ್, ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸರ್. ದ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್. ಫೋರ್ತ್ ಬಂದು ಇರಿಗೇಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀರಾವರಿ. ಫಿಫ್ತ್ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ವೀಡ್ಸ್, ಈ ಕಳೆಗಳು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೇಡದಿರೋ ಸಸ್ಯಗಳು, ಅವುಗಳಿಂದ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಯೋರ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಹಾರ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ ಕೊಯ್ಲು ಮಾಡೋದು. ಅಂಡ್ ಸೆವೆಂತ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೋರೇಜ್. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಾಯಿಲ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ವೆರಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಗ್ರೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಅ ಕ್ರಾಪ್. ತುಂಬಾ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್, ಕ್ರೂಷಿಯಲ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ. ಹೌದು, ಯಾಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಫಾರ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್, ನಾಟ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಕಲ್ಟಿವೇಶನ್, ಫಾರ್ ಎನಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ದಟ್ ವಿ ಡು, ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಶುಡ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ದಿಸ್ ಅಲೌಸ್ ದ ರೂಟ್ ಟು ಪೆನಿಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಡೀಪ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ಸಾಯಿಲ್. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್, ಇದೊಂದು ಬರಡು ಭೂಮಿ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಕಲ್ಲುಗಳು ಬೇಡ್ದಿರೋದು ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಹೀಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಹೀಗಿರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಸಸ್ಯವನ್ನ ನಾನು ಬೆಳೆಸಿದಾಗ, ಓಕೆ, ವೆನ್ ಐ ಗ್ರೋ ಅ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ದ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ರೂಟ್ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಪೆನಿಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಡೀಪ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ಸಾಯಿಲ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡ್ಡಗಾಲಾಗಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್. ಇನ್ಸ್ಟೆಡ್, the first step, if I would clear the soil and take away the debriges ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೇಡದಿರುವಂತ ವಸ್ತುಗಳನ್ನ ತೆಗೆದಿಟ್ಟಾಗ, then when I start cultivating the plant, the roots, ನೋಡಿದ್ರಾ, it penetrates deep into the soil ಹೀಗೆ. And in your 7th class you have learnt about the nutrients in the plants. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ ಭೂಮಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತಹ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಿಷನ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ವಿ ವಾಂಟ್ 16 ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಗ್ರೋ. So what are the 16 type of nutrients you learn in your 10th class? 10ನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಕಲಿತೀರಾ. ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಆತರ ಪೋಷಕಾಂಶಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಪಡೆದು ಒಂದು ಸಸ್ಯ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಬೆಳಿಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಹೂಗಳನ್ನ ಪೋಷಣೆಯನ್ನ ಪಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಭೂಮಿಯನ್ನ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ವೈಟಲ್ ರೋಲ್. So now getting back to our class. So this is how the root gets penetrated into the soil. So you will have to loosen the soil for that, so that the root would get the proper minerals, water, air and some living organism kuda. And if there is a dead plant, ಅದು ಡಿಕಂಪೋಸ್ ಆದಾಗ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತಹ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಿಯೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅಂಡ್ ಈ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ನ, ಈ ಸಾಯಿಲ್ ನ ಲೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಟಿಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ and plowing. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಳುಮೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಭೂಮಿಯನ್ನ ಉಳುಮೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಕೇಳಿದೀರಾ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ? ಏನಿರಬಹುದು ಉಳುಮೆ ಮಾಡೋದು? ದ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೂಸನಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ದ ಸಾಯಿಲ್. ನಾವು ಈ ಉಳುಮೆ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ I can show you some of the instrument that we use in this ಉಳುಮೆ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಬಳಸುವಂತಹದನ್ನ ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಬಹುದು. And one second. Okay. So through the process of tilling and plowing, we start loosening the soil, and this is done by using a plow. Plow ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನೇಗಿಲು. ನೇಗಿಲು. And these plows are made of wood or iron. ನಾವು ಮರದಿಂದ ಆದ್ರೂ ಮಾಡಿರಬಹುದು, ಕಬ್ಬಿಣದಿಂದ ಮಾಡಿರಬಹುದು. If the soil is very dry, what they would do is that they would water. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೀರನ್ನ ಚಿಮ್ಕಿಸ್ತಾರೆ ಉಳುಮೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ. The plowed field may have big clumps. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಭೂಮಿ ಮೇಲೆ ನೀರನ್ನ ಹಾಕಿದಾಗ ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕಲ್ಲುಗಳು ಅಥವಾ ಮಣ್ಣಿನ ಮುದ್ದೆಗಳು ಸಿಗಬಹುದು. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕ್ರಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಡು ವಿ ಕಾಲ್? ಕ್ರಮ್ಸ್. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಕ್ರಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ದ ಬಿ ಇಸ್ ಸೈಲೆಂಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನೆಸೆಸರಿ ಟು ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ರಮ್ಸ್. ಆ ಒಂದು ಮಣ್ಣಿನ ಮುದ್ದೆಗಳೇನಿರ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬಹಳ ಅವಶ್ಯಕ. ಸೊ ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಅ ಲೆವೆಲರ್. ಟು ಲೆವೆಲ್ ದಿಸ್ ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಅ ಲೆವೆಲರ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಲೆವೆಲಿಂಗ್ ದ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಇಸ್ ಬೆನಿಫಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಸೋಯಿಂಗ್. ಬಿತ್ತನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ತುಂಬಾ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈವನ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಇರಿಗೇಷನ್, ನೀರಾವರಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ. ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಈ ಒಂದು ಫ್ಲೋಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಬಳಸ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ಇನ್ ಟುಡೇಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಾಯಿಲ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ವೇರಿಯಸ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರಲ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ವ್ಯವಸಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಬಳಸುವಂತಹ ಈ ಒಂದು ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರಲ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಬಳಸುವಂತಹ ಕೃಷಿಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತಹ ಉಪಕರಣಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. So able to see the board? Okay. Agricultural ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರಲ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕೃಷಿ ಉಪಕರಣಗಳು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Why do we have to learn in both the language, ma'am? It is very important for you to learn in both the language because you'll have the better command on both the language. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರಲ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೃಷಿ ಉಪಕರಣಗಳು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಒಂದೊಂದೇ ಕೃಷಿ ಉಪಕರಣಗಳನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋಣ. ಮೊದಲನೇದು ಬಂದು ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ನೆಲವನ್ನ ನಾವು ಬಿತ್ತನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ, ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಸೋಯಿಂಗ್ ದ ಸೀಡ್ಸ್, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನೆಸೆಸರಿ ಟು ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ದ ಸಾಯಿಲ್ ಕ್ಲಂಪ್ಸ್ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ದ ಬೆಟರ್ ಈಲ್ಡ್. ಓಕೆ. ಕ್ಲಂಪ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾ ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ಆ ಕ್ರಮ್ಸ್ ಗಳಿರ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಮಣ್ಣಿನ ಮುದ್ದೆಗಳಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅವುಗಳು. This is done with the help of various tools, and the main tool used for this purpose is plow. Please make a note. Plow, hoe, hopefully you can see, cultivator. Okay, plow, hoe and cultivator. ಪ್ಲೋನ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವ್ ಏನಂತೀವಿ, ನೇಗಿಲು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ಹೋನ ನಾವ್ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ವಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಟು ದಟ್. ಎಡೆಕುಂಟೆ ಅಂತ ಸಹ ಕರೀತಾರೆ ಈ ಫ್ಲೋನ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ಕಲ್ಟಿವೇಟರ್, ಕಲ್ಟಿವೇಟರ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ ಕಲ್ಟಿವೇಟರ್ ಇನ್ ಕನ್ನಡ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಈ ಹೋ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಎಡೆಕುಂಟೆ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಇದೊಂದು ತುಂಬಾ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಉಪಕರಣ. ಇದು ಈ ಕಳೆಗಳೇನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವೀಡ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ತೆಗಿಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮಣ್ಣನ್ನ ಸಡಿಲಗೊಳಿಸಿಕೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಬಳಸ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಕೂಡ ಮರ ಅಥವಾ ಕಬ್ಬಿಣದಿಂದ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಅಗಲವಾದಂತಹ ಮತ್ತೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಶಕ್ತಿಶಾಲಿ ಆಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಕಬ್ಬಿಣದ ತಟ್ಟೆಯನ್ನ ಇದು ಹೊಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಹೋ. ಓಕೆ, ನೌ ಲೆಟ್ ಮಿ ಶೋ ದ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ದೀಸ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರಲ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಉಪಕರಣಗಳ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ನ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ತೋರಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಸೊ ಏನಿರ್ಬೋದು ಇದು? ನೇಗಿಲು. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಮರದಿಂದ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತಹ ನೇಗಿಲು ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ಲೋ. ಅಂಡ್ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಇದು ಕಾಣಬಹುದು ನೀವು. ಇದನ್ನ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ, ಕುಂಟೆ ಅಂತಾರೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ. ಇದು ನೇಗಿಲು, ಇದು ನೊಗ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ನೊಗ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡೂ ಜಾಗಕ್ಕೆ ಎತ್ತುಗಳನ್ನ ಕಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಉಳುಮೆಯನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ನೋಡಿರ್ಬಹುದು ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ಗಳಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ನೊಗ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಇದು ಕಡುಗೋಲು. ಕಡುಗೋಲು ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸೋದು? ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ಗಳಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾರನ್ನಾದ್ರೂ ಕೊಲೆ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ವ್ಯವಸಾಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನ ವೀಡ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ತೆಗಿಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಲ್ಲದೆ ಕೊಯ್ಲಿನ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಕುಡುಗೋಲನ್ನ ಬಳಸ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಪಿಕಾಸಿ, ಈ ನೆಲವನ್ನ ಅಗಿಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಳಸೋದು. ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ವೇರಿಯಸ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರಲ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ. ಸರ್ಕೆ, ಕುಂಟೆ, ನೇಗಿಲು, ನೊಗ, ಕುಡುಗೋಲು ಹಾಗೂ ಪಿಕಾಸಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಕಾಣುತ್ತಾ ಈಗ? ಓಕೆ, ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ? ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ಲುಕ್ ಅಟ್ ದಿಸ್. ನೋಡಿದ್ರಾ? ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ಕೂಡ ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ, ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಇದೆ. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ದಿಸ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಅನ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಆ ನೆಲವನ್ನ ಕೊರಿಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಸಮಮಟ್ಟ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಕೂಡ ನಾವ್ ಇದನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ದಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಕಲ್ಟಿವೇಟರ್. ಸೊ ನಾವ್ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಗೋ ಒನ್ ಬೈ ಒನ್. ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ನೇಗಿಲು ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ಲೋ. So now here this has been used since ancient time for tilling the soil, adding fertilizer to the crop or removing the weeds and turning the soil. ಒಂದು ಮಣ್ಣನ್ನ ಈ ಆಚ್ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಬಳಸ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. This is made of wood and is drawn by a pair of bulls or other animals like horse and camels is also used. It contains a strong triangular iron strip called plowshare, and the main part of the plow is a long log of wood which is called as plow shaft. There is a handle at one end of the shaft, as you can see in the picture. The other end is attached to a beam which is placed on the bull's neck. One pair of bulls and a man can easily operate the plow. Okay, so if you can see the picture here, ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ನೊಗ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಕಡೆ ಎರಡು ಎತ್ತುಗಳನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಈ ನೇಗಿಲನ್ನ ಆ ನೊಗಕ್ಕೆ ಹಾಕಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಕಡ್ಡಿಯನ್ನ ಹಾಕಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಈ ನೇಗಿಲ ಮೇಲೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಇಬ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಅದನ್ನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು ಎತ್ತುಗಳ ಸಹಾಯದಿಂದ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು. The indigenous wooden plow is increasingly being replaced by iron plows nowadays. ಈಗ ಮರದ ಪ್ಲೋ ಬದಲು ಕಬ್ಬಿಣದ ಪ್ಲೋಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ನೇಗಿಲನ್ನ ಬಳಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. And the second instrument is a hoe. Okay. In your textbook also you have a picture of plow which has a beam, a plow shaft, plow share. You can refer to that as well. So the next instrument is the hoe, which works like a blade and it is pulled by the animals. Okay, it's a very simple tool which is used for removing the weeds and for loosening the soil. It has a long rod of wood or a iron. A strong, broad, and bent plate of iron is fixed in the front of its end. So after all, in my textbook, you can see see, this is how a plow looks like. You can see a grip is there, a handle, a beam is there, a rod, and a blunt plate. ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಈ ಕಳೆಗಳು ಅಥವಾ ಬೀಡ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಏನಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಕಾಪಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಈ ಹೋ ಅನ್ನ ಬಳಸ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಎಡೆಕುಂಟೆ ಅಂತ ಸಹ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಹಿಡಿಕೆ ಗ್ರಿಪ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ದಟ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಎಸ್ ಹಿಡಿಕೆ. ಆ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ನ ಕೈ ಹಿಡಿಕೆ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಬೀಮ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೊಗ ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ, ಬೀಮ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೊಗ ಅಂತ. ಅಂಡ್ ಆ ಒಂದು ರಾಡ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ರಾಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸರಳು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ. ಬೆಂಡ್ ಪ್ಲೇಟ್ ನ ಬಾಗಿದ ತಟ್ಟೆ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ದ ಹೊ, HOE, ಹೊ ಅಥವಾ ಎಡೆಕುಂಟೆ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಬ್ಲೇಡ್ ತರ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಲ್ಟಿವೇಟರ್. You can see the picture of see, this is how they use idu ho alla. I had shown you in the last picture here. We call it as sarake. So this is how they use in loosening the soil. ಈ ತರವಾಗಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. See, this is how a cultivator looks. You can see here in the picture. And what does this cultivator do? Nowadays, plowing is done by the tractor. ಮನುಷ್ಯರು ಕೈಯಿಂದ ಪ್ಲೋ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಬಹಳ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. And it is done with the help of the tractor driven cultivator. This uses the cultivator, saves the labor and time. ಅದು ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಕಷ್ಟನೂ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂಡ್ ಬೇಗ ಕೆಲಸ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇವಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹಿಂದೆ ರುಬ್ಬೋ ಕಲ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಚಟ್ನಿಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಅರಿತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಇವಾಗ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು, ಮಿಕ್ಸರ್ ಗ್ರೈಂಡರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜೋರಾಗಿ ರುಬ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಲ್ವಾ, ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಕಲ್ಟಿವೇಟರ್ ಸಹ ಅದು ನಮ್ಮ ಟೈಮ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯರು ಪಡೋ ಕಷ್ಟವನ್ನ ಕೂಡ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಕಲ್ಟಿವೇಟರ್. Clear? Can you see the cultivator? So what are the different instruments we use? We'll take a look at it again. We use ನೇಗಿಲು ಅಥವಾ plow, and then we use a ಹಾ ಅಥವಾ ಎಡೆಕುಂಟೆ, and then we use a cultivator. You can see ಅದನ್ನ ಝೂಮ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ನ ನೋಡಬಹುದು. ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಥವಾ ಈ ತರ ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟರ್ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ನೋಡಬಹುದು. ಇದು ಆನ್ ಅ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ಅ ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಹೌ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ದ ಕಲ್ಟಿವೇಟರ್ ಇನ್ ಲೆವೆಲಿಂಗ್ ದ ಸಾಯಿಲ್. ನೋಡಿ, ಇದು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇಡದೇ ಇರೋದನ್ನ ತೆಗ್ದು ಹಾಕುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ತರನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಎಸ್. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಐ ವಾಂಟೆಡ್ ಯು ಟು ಸಿ. ನೋಡಿದ್ರಾ? ಈ ತರನಾಗಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. See, you can see the pictures here. And this one, how do we use it for loosening the soil? And this is a diagram written by one of the students. So well, they have presented it. I wish you could also give it a try. Okay? ಈ ತರನಾಗಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So now, under the topic agricultural implements, we got to see about 3 different agricultural implements. So what were those? One is plow. Next was hoe. This one we use it in removing the weeds also. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಈ ಕಳೆಗಳಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೂ ಕೂಡ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅದ್ರ ಬಾಗದಂತಹ ತಟ್ಟೆ ತರ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ದಟ್ ಬೆಂಡ್ ಪ್ಲೇಟ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಥಿಂಗ್, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಶಾರ್ಪ್. Okay, to cut the weeds also we use a hoe. And then we use another one, that is cultivator. ಸೊ ಈ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಭೂಮಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ಲೋ ಅಥವಾ ನೇಗಿಲಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ವೆನ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಯು ಕಾಂಟ್ afford so much of labor as well as time. So there would be a tractor for which the cultivator has been fixed, and through that easily they'll start. What will they do from this? ಆ ಮಣ್ಣನ್ನ ಸಿದ್ಧಪಡಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Okay. In order to prepare the soil, these kind of agricultural equipments are used. Okay. So now the traditional tool also is used in, sowing also. Like the next, this is about preparation of soil. So the second topic would be sowing, which I would like to take it in our next class. Sowing ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಿತ್ತನೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಈಗ ಮಣ್ಣನ್ನ ನಾವು ಸರಿಪಡಿಸಿದಾಯ್ತು. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಮಣ್ಣಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತಹ ಕಲ್ಲು ಮಣ್ಣನ್ನ ತೆಗೆದು ಹಾಕಿದಾಯ್ತು. ನೇಗಿಲು, ಎಡೆಕುಂಟೆ, ಕಲ್ಟಿವೇಟರ್ ಇವುಗಳ ಸಹಾಯದಿಂದ ಅದನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಸಮಮಟ್ಟಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಲೂಸನ್ ದ ಸಾಯಿಲ್. ನೌ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ರೆಡಿ ಟು ಬಿ ಸೋಡ್. So sowing ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ we use the traditional method as well as modern method. So what is sowing? What is the traditional method we are going to use in sowing, and what are the modern methodology we have? We shall learn about it in our next class. Hopefully this class was interesting to you and as well as helpful to you anta bhavasta. We shall wind up today's class, and I would like to welcome our next teacher to take up the class. So wish you all have a good rest of the day. Okay. Take care. Bye. Let's meet in our next class. Jai Hind. Jai Karnataka Mate. Jai Hind. Namaskara. Good evening, Harini ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes,
Harini ma'am, you can stop.
yes. Good evening, all my dear students. Good evening, all my dear students. Hi, I hope you are doing great. So am I. Well, today I'm going to teach you English. So before going to the topic, I would like to share a very short story, an interesting and fascinating story. I'm going to share the screen. Yes, it's about the obstacles in our path. The obstacles in our path. So, first, we shall try to understand the meaning of obstacles. Obstacles, which means hurdles. Obstacles, which means hurdles. If you see the picture there, you can find a big stone on the path, right? Path, which means way. So, behind that stone, there's a man, and behind of him, a king who is hiding beside the tree. So, what's the story about? So, we shall see now the obstacles in our path. So, once upon a time, in a small kingdom, there was a wise king. He is very intellectual and intelligent. He wanted to test his people and teach them a valuable lesson. So, what he wanted to teach, we shall see now. So, one day he ordered a large boulder to be placed right middle of a busy road. So, he ordered to place a big stone in the busy road, and he had hidden beside the tree. Then he hid nearby to watch what would happen next. So, many rich merchants in the next slide, if you see, yes. So the picture is very colorful, right? Very good. Yes. Many rich merchants and courtiers came by. If you see in this picture, they are very busy in the busy road. Rich people, especially merchants and courtiers, they are passing through that path. So they simply walked around the rock, complaining about the king did not maintain the roads. So they complained what king is doing in the palace. He's not at all bothering about the people of his kingdom. He is useless. What is he for? So they got vexed with king's behavior and they just went. So few blamed government officials. They cursed for not removing the stone on the path. If you see the next slide, yes, few more people, like few more people, they have come and they also like literally got vexed, and the things are going like this by scolding a king, and finally, a poor farmer has come. He was carrying a bag of vegetables on his in the basket. When he saw the rock, he put that bag down, I mean basket down, and he tried to push the rock out of the way with all his strength. In the next slide, if you see, he kept all the efforts. In the next slide, yes, he kept all the efforts. He started moving the stone aside. He pushed it out of the way. It was heavy, and he struggled for a long time, but finally he succeeded. Okay, so as he turned to pick up his bag, he saw a small pouch lying where the rock had been. So he has seen. So in the next slide, if you see, you could see that there's this pouch right on the path. The next slide, there's a pouch lying where the rock had been. So he opened it and found it filled with gold coins. What is there? Gold coins, and there is also a note. What note it is? We shall see now in the next slide. Yes, so that note says that this reward is for the one who removes the obstacles from the path. The road is for everyone, but only a few try to make it better for all. So this road is for everyone, but only few try it to make better for all. So that person deserves these gold coins, and ultimately this poor farmer, a peasant, he won the gold coins. So finally, what's the moral of the story? What did you understand by this moral of the story? The king showed the peasant what many of us never understand. Every obstacle presents an opportunity to improve our condition. So, in our life, in education, or in the class, you might have come across many obstacles, right? So, you try to solve that obstacle and make it a better opportunity to improve the condition. And next, if you see in the next slide, yeah. So this is the moral of the story. So whatever the opportunity, whatever the problems that you face, try to find out the solution and make your condition much more better. And now going to the topic. Today's topic is phonetics. What is today's topic? Phonetics. I'm going to share that PPT of phonetics. But before that, tell me what is communication? Yes, just have a definition in your mind. What is communication? What is language? And what is this phonetics? Why should we talk about phonetics? And why are these important when you learn language? We shall try to know about it in this PPT, and we shall start. Yes. Well, today we are going to learn about phonetics. Phonetics, phones, which means sounds. It means we are talking about, we're going to learn about sounds, speech sounds. Next one. So first I'll give you a basic introduction of this phonetics. Okay. So then we will learn all the sounds, transcription, and all that. Phonetics is the scientific study of the physical sounds of human speech. So every human makes sounds, right? That study of physical sounds of human speech, not animal speech, human speech, that is called phonetics. Okay, remember the definition. In the end of the session, I'm going to conduct a test. So listen carefully. And why is phonetics important? So why should we learn this phonetics? Why it is important? Yes, in the next definition, we shall see in the next slide. Why? Because it helps in correct pronunciation. This is very important. So, whatever the word that you utter, make sure you pronounce it properly. Okay. And next one. So, first one is helps in correcting pronunciation, useful in learning languages. So useful on learning languages. And if you see, we have many accents like British accent and American accent. If you want to speak in such a way, first you have to learn how to pronounce those words. So it helps to learn slangs, dialects, and also learning languages. Next one, helps in speech therapy. So it also helps in speech therapy, like have to spell those sounds and all that. It helps in that kind of therapy. And next one, important in linguistics, language teaching, and forensics. So first, you might be alien to these words like linguistics and forensics, right? So first, we shall try to understand linguistics in detail. Okay, first linguistics. What is linguistics? Linguistics, which means it is a scientific study of language. So this is called linguistics. Yeah, why should we study about languages? Of course, we have to know the words and its meanings, its usages, where we have to use that word in the sentence. If you put any wrong word, then definitely it becomes a miscommunication or misunderstanding. So that's the purpose why, see, even in Kannada language also, most of the words are borrowed from Sanskrit, right? So study of even English also is borrowed from Latin, German languages, French. Okay, it helps us understand how languages work, how they are structured, how they are used, and have the changeover. Of course, Kannada is a Dravidian language, but few words are borrowed from Sanskrit. It's not originated from Sanskrit, but few words are borrowed. Likewise, Telugu, Malayalam also, few words have borrowed. Okay, so we can learn how this language works, where these words have grabbed from, and that is called linguistics. What it is? Linguistics. And the next one, next slide, main areas of linguistics. Now there are certain categories in the linguistics ma. We shall learn a few categories of it. First one, phonetics, which means study of speech sounds, like have to pronounce, like in Kannada we know e, like these are basic th, cha cha gha gha, like this kind of gha, this kind of pronunciations, how speech sounds. This is called phonetics, study of speech sounds. And next one, phonology. What is this phonology? Which means study of sound patterns in a language. Phonology, which means study of sound patterns in a language. How these sounds, if you see in the ancient times, before the human evaluation, this how the languages have evolved. These many languages in India, like Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, Hindi, all these, how all these framed. This where you study the sound patterns, that is called phonology. Phone, which means sound, logy means study, study of sound patterns in a language. That is called phonology. And next one, morphology. So before you learn about phonetics, you have to be introduced to these words, general basic words. Ma. We're not going in depth. These are basic things to know before knowing about phonetics in detail. Okay, morphology, which means studies of word structure. Earlier we talked about sounds, letters, and now these are like word structure. How each letter is kept side by side and formed as a word, and we give meaning to that word and speak, right? That study is called what? What it is called? Morphology. Morphology. And the next one, syntax. What is the syntax? Study of sentence structure. Before we've spoken about word structure. Now we are talking about sentence structure. So we put words to words side by side to frame a sentence to get a meaning completely or incompletely. That is called syntax. About sentence structure. So what kind of sentence is it? Subject or verb or object? That is called, okay, sentence structure, which means syntax. And the other one is semantics. What is that? Semantics, which means study of meaning in language. So language has meaning, lots of meaning, right? Without meaning, we can't. We don't have any word or sentence. This semantics is a study of meaning, in the language. Okay, next one, sociolinguistics. It's not social studies, sociolinguistics, which means study of how language is used in society. So we have multiple words, n number of words you have, but how beautifully you frame into a sentence and make it more meaningful in a positive way, or whatever it is, no, either negative. What kind of language are you using, how you are using in the society, that is so social linguistic. The language which you use in society, is that pleasant language or unpleasant language? Such things comes under the social linguistics category. And next one, understanding why people from different regions speak the same language. So for example, this social linguistics, why people from different regions speak the same language differently, like different English accents or Telugu dialects. See, Telugu people speak in a different way, Malayalam speak in a different way. Okay. uh അബ്ബയോടോ എന്താ ചെയ്യടാ, this is the way sometimes some people may use, like they you for have different slang, different dialects. And even in Telugu states also, they have their own mother tongue slangs that reflects in English as well. So same word, but they speak in a different way. Okay. So next one, what is forensics? So you may ask me, ma'am, if any crime happens, this in criminal stories this word is used, but how this for a forensics is related to phonetics, we shall try to understand. This is a general knowledge that I'm giving you about phonetics. Forensic means applying science to solve crimes, right? No, applying science to solve crimes. Whatever the crimes happens, any if any things you get identify to solve that crime, for that you call forensics. So this forensic science uses various scientific methods to investigate crimes and help in legal cases. So these forensics help to solve the legal cases. So that why this forensics crime is related with phonetics, we shall see now. So next slide. Types of forensics. Just to know about phonetics detailedly, so how it is connected with the forensics, we shall learn the types of forensics, then you will get a clarity. Next one, forensic linguistics means study of language to solve crimes, analyzing threatening letters or fake calls. So first thing, you may get we have heard many news like fake calls, or if there is a bomb, here is a bomb, or fake letters. What kind of language they have used? Is it from which language originated is this language? Or from that they can analyze. If no Telugu people use different kinds of words. If it is from that originated, they can guess that the fake call has come from this locality. Or if the language is mostly used from a certain region, then they can come to a conclusion that from that locality we got this. So you can that means they can solve the crime uh, appropriately within time using that words or sentences used through fake calls or letters. Okay, next one. So in such a way, it helps to solve the crimes. Forensic DNA analysis is studying blood and hair. So that is and the next one, fingerprint analysis. As this is related to linguistics, we are trying to learn few more other details. Next one. So digital forensics like studying mobile, email, and computer data as well. So such kind of things where this languages have related, then it would be easy to solve the crime. If someone uh, if someone sends a threatening message, a forensic linguistic can study the language. As I've told you, if CID or police officers get any threatening call or any letters, first they will see the language that they have used, the words that they have used. Because of those words only, they can analyze who the criminal is, like from where the call has arrived. So writing style, grammar, to help find the person who wrote it. So even in the fake calls, if they get any through voice or the words that they have used, they can analyze from which community. For example, Telugu people have they say, "Hey, did you come? Did you go? When you come, re?" It means in Telugu, "No ostava." Like means this kind of Telugu mother tongue is has so much influence with the English language as well. So this kind of study of linguistics or phonetics also helps in forensic report. Okay, next one. So this is the link. No, now connection between linguistics and forensic. The real connection is here. Next one. Forensic linguistic is a special field where experts use language and speech analysis to help in a criminal investigations. Generally, multilinguistic means a people who a person who speaks many languages would be an expert to tell which kind of language, what kind of words they have used, and what kind of sounds they pronounced. Based on that, they can get a clue or hint to identify the criminal behind the crime. Okay, in such a way, this forensic linguistics is helpful. So now, coming to the point, now we are coming to the point. The whole thing earlier I've told you is just a basic introduction. So now, key concepts like first one is consonants and vowels. Two major categories of speech sounds we have. When we talk about phonetics, majorly we need to know about consonant sounds and vowels. So in English we have 26 alphabet. But I'm not talking about alphabet, consonants, or vowels. I'm talking about speech sounds, phonetics. Okay, next one. So, first, keep these consonants and vowel speech sounds in your brain. Now comes to IPA, which means International Phonetic Alphabet. What is this IPA? It is a system to represent speech sounds in accurately. For example, if I pronounce th, so how to represent this speech sound? There is a transcription that is called IPA. If I say fa, 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 so this transcription have to put it on a paper to give a no transcription. That is called IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet. Nothing but alphabet. You give an alphabet to certain sound, that is called International Phonetic Alphabet. It is a system. Okay, these put these terms in your mind. Okay, so when we explain about these detailedly, that will understand very well the words bat and pat. If you see, you pronounce in the same way, but there is a slight difference, right? Bat, pat, ba, pa, which means differ only in one sound, that is ba, pa, ba, pa in phonetics. So this small change can differ a lot with the meaning, and is studied in detail. So the small sound can make much more a bigger difference. Okay, next one. Fizzy, next one. Now, enter to a main topic very detailedly. There are 44 phonic sounds. How many? 44 speech sounds we have in English. So what are those? Let's see. Next one. There are, of course, as I've told you, that 44 phonic sounds are again categorized into two types. First type is 24 consonant sounds. How many? 24, and we have 20 vowel sounds. 20 vowel sounds. Overall, how many? 44. So consonant sounds are categorized again based on two features. As I've told you, consonants and vowel sounds, right? Consonant sounds are again categorized based on two features. What are those? We shall see now. So first feature is place of articulation. So in this introduction class, we'll just know the basics. In the next class onwards, we shall see how to pronounce these words lively. And place of articulation means what? Where the sound is made in mouth. See, in mouth, how we talk using lips, also tongue, and when you talk, the air which you breathe from, larynx, pharynx, this kind of, I will show you in the pictures in the upcoming slides as well, where the sound is made in mouth, from where that sound is coming, from throat or from lungs or from upper palate, that we will see. Next slide. If you see manner of articulation, earlier I've told you place of articulation means which part are you using. Now how the sound is made, how air flows from lungs. You breathe, right? When you breathe, once you breathe, right? It goes to a pipe, wind pipe, through then lungs, and again when you talk, you speak through the air, right? So how you articulate, with using only lips or using only tongue, or tongue and lips, that we will see. The next slide, by place of articulation. So by place of articulation, those are 7 categories that we will learn in the next class. But these are the only basics about phonetics for today. Just have a no idea about these terms which we have used in this class. And I'm going to conduct a small test whether you have uh, remembered all these terms and all that. In the next class we shall detailedly learn about speech sounds, and where these articulations comes from, how to you use the mouth parts to pronounce the words properly in English. As we have British accent and American accent, if at all you have a plan to move to abroad, so have to speak in their accent. That also we will see. Okay, for now, yes, we shall start it. Yeah. So phonetics is mainly concerned with, as I've told you, phonetics. Phones means sounds. So what it is? The answer is it writing styles, or L is missed. Okay. Production and presentation of speech sounds. So it's this phonetics is not right about writing styles, but it is about speech sounds. So the answer is production and presentation of speech sounds. And the next one, how many vowel sounds are there in English? How many? Is it 5? A, E, I, O, U? I'm not talking about letters. I'm talking about sounds. It is 20. The answer is 20 only. The option is given wrong way. Okay. Next one. There are certain, yeah. IPA stands for. IPA stands for. So what's the answer? Is that International Phonetics Transcription or International Phonetic Transportation? So the answer is first one, International, AL. AL is missed. AL, Phonetics Transcription. There are certain typo errors here. However, yes, we will minimize in the next one. What part of phonetics deals with how speech sounds are produced? The answer is, which part of phonetics deals with how sounds produced? Is that acoustic or acoustic phonetics or articulatory phonetics? Articulatory phonetics. The answer is articulatory phonetics. Very good. So, what is the study of speech sounds? Obviously, phonetics. The answer is phonetics. So, we shall see the answers. Fourth one has wrong. Shall see the answers. Yes. What's the study of speech sounds? Phonetics. And how many vowel sounds are there? 20. And which part of phonetics deals with how speech sounds are produced? Articulatory phonetics. And phonetics is mainly concerned with Production and Presentation of Speech Sounds. IPS stands for International Phonetics Transcription. Very good. For today, you got the introduction of phonetics, and you also learned about basic terms that you want to know about phonetics. So in the next class we shall detailedly learn about the all speech sounds and the categories, and also have to pronounce based on place of articulatory and manner of it also. And for today, this is the class about phonetics. Thank you all, thank you so much. Have a great evening and have a nice dinner. Thank you all, my dear students.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.